So one way of practicing what I would consider to be true job development is through the use of something I call an employment proposal. And the concept behind it is that rather than approach employers applying for the jobs that exist, we actually make a business proposition based on real business principles, beginning with the idea that any employer who is convinced that an applicant can somehow generate more revenue than it costs is going to consider hiring this person. It's called the Universal Hiring Rule. It was first introduced in Tom Jackson's book, Guerrilla Tactics in the Job Market. I'll repeat it. Any employer will hire any applicant so long as he or she is convinced it's going to somehow bring more revenue than it costs. So the whole idea of an employment proposal is based on the idea that we can take the real abilities and interest and skills of a person and look creatively at asking not who hires people to do it, but who doesn't hire people to do this, who should. And I use basically 6 questions that help me find those opportunities. One of them is, where could this save employers money? Because there are people doing the same piece of work at a much higher income than they need to. One of them is, where will it make employers money? In other words, it's going to more than cover the cost of the job, plus be a profit to the employer. Where could this totally expand the customer base of the business? So perhaps you have someone who is fluent in sign language, or someone who's willing to travel to the customers' homes or deliver a product where it's going to expand their customer base in some new way. Or where is this going to bring a business a competitive edge? Because what you're suggesting isn't being done by their competitors. My favorite question is, where would this be a natural extension of what the business is already doing? So let me give you an example that kind of puts all of those together. I remember working with a young man named Jonathan who loved cars, but he couldn't fix them and he couldn't drive them, but he loved the world of the automobile. What he could do is detail and clean a car. However, the parameters within which he needed to work wasn't going to work at a regular car wash. So we needed to kind of think out of the box where could create a job for Jonathan being able to wash cars. So what we did is we went to an auto shop that we know this would be a natural extension of an auto shop because they have an entire parking lot of dirty cars every day. So rather than present the proposal to you from a job developer's point of view, I want you to imagine this from a customer's point of view. Imagine that you need your car fixed. You call one auto shop and you hear, yeah, bring your car by, we'll take it at 9 o'clock in the morning and give you a call at the end of the day. Would you be more interested in this auto shop or this one? Hey, yeah, we can take your car tomorrow. By the way, for a small fee, we'd be happy to pick it up and deliver it at the place of your convenience at the end of the day. By the way, we've just hired a young man by the name of Jonathan who will totally clean and detail your car for a mere $12 while it's on our lot. So at the end of the day tomorrow, not only will your car be working, it's going to be shining as well. So if you take a look at that, you've realized that the auto shop, by taking me up on this proposal, has just gotten a competitive edge. They've also brought a profit because Jonathan says he can clean 2 cars an hour. He wants to make $12 an hour. I've just charged you $12. What that means is I'm bringing in $24. But do you see how this is a natural extension of the auto shop's business because they have an entire lot of dirty cars? So it's really, people say, oh, Denise, this whole idea of the job proposal, you have to be really creative and think out of the box. What if I'm not a naturally imaginative person? The truth is, you let the questions do the work. You don't have to be creative. The questions themselves are going to point to possibilities you may not have seen before. One of my favorite questions from the job developer's point of view is that whole idea of the natural extension. if you went everywhere you went, just as a customer in the world, not as a job developer, but just as a person in the world, if you were to apply that question, what's the natural extension this place has never taken? You are going to begin to see things you've never seen before. So you go into a deli, great food, small space, but what, they don't cater? What's up with that? You're picking up the dog food, a 50-pound bag of dog food, but wait, they don't deliver this? They know I need so much dog food every month. Trust me when I tell you, when you apply questions like this in the world, you will not see it the same. And by the way, all of you who are listening to this, who are taking what I'm saying to heart, who are really going to try on the lens of the entrepreneurial job developer, I need to just apologize up front because I have totally just ruined your life. Because you don't get to unsee it. Once you begin to see the world that way, it will never look the same again.